Keep my eyes to serve, my hands to learn. Keep my eyes to serve, my hands to learn. And I was still
EU to bug every car in UK with tracker chips. And ministers admit they are powerless to stop Big Brother technology. Every new car sold in Britain will have to have a black box device fitted to track drivers' movements from next year, under plans being imposed by the European Union. Despite serious concerns about privacy and cost, UK ministers admit they are powerless to stop the Big Brother technology being forced onto motorists and car makers. The government believes the gadget, designed to help emergency services find crashed vehicles, will add at least £100 to the cost of vehicles without providing significant safety improvements. Right, there's a few agendas linking up here, and none of them have anything to do with the emergency services locating crashed vehicles. That's just bullshit. So let's go through it. This is what Robert Goodwill, Conservative MP, said about the legislation. Unfortunately, there is very little support for the UK position and no possibility of blocking this legislation. Firstly, here is another great example of how the EU governs us. We, as a country, are no longer in control of what happens in our own country. As this Conservative MP, paedophile? Who knows? Yet to be disproved, as he's a Tory. As this MP states, there is no possibility of blocking this legislation. Now, this is the issue with the EU. We are governed by unelected bureaucrats from Brussels. Bureaucrats that have not been voted into position. Hence the title, unelected. They're given these positions by their friends. That's right, given them by their friends. It's a cushy little club, a very well-paid, cushy little club to rule Europe dictatorially. This is a fact that people are slowly waking up to, as you can see with the rise of UKIP. Europe are dictating to us. We are no longer a free country. How hard is it for people to get that? It's really not rocket science. We do not govern ourselves anymore. We need self-determination. We do not have it. We are ruled by unelected bureaucrats. We must be able to decide our own future if we have any future, rather than just being swallowed up by the United States of Europe. Wake up, people, for fuck's sake. Secondly, there's an obvious concern with privacy because this black box will track and trace you everywhere you go, with or without your permission. And thirdly, they'll tell us in a few years that because of global warming or Agenda 21, pick your poison, that we will now have to pay per mile when we drive. This will of course be on top of road tax that we currently pay, and it will be on top of the price of petrol and diesel, which is approximately 70% tax currently. Then they'll say, oh, those black boxes that the EU forced us to install a couple of years ago, we can use those to charge you by the mile, and they're already in most cars. Oh, what coincidence, isn't that great? You see, Robert Goodwill, MP, paedophile, who knows, he is a Tory, is pretending that we can't do anything about the EU wanting to bug every car in the UK, but we can, if we have MPs and a government that represent the people and not just big business and the Rothschilds, then of course we can do something about it. We can simply use that two-letter word that hardly any MP ever uses when it comes to the EU, and that word is fucking no. Remember Cameron went to the EU court to challenge the EU about a banker bonus cap? Remember that? Cameron wanted them to have unlimited banker bonuses and the EU wanted to cap them at only 200% of salary. That wasn't enough for Cameron and the Rothschilds. He wanted more for his robbing, scheming, banker, criminal friends. We all know that Cameron and the government will do bugger all about this legislation, and in a few years' time they'll just pretend, oh well, it was the EU that put them in there, so we had no choice, so now we're going to have to tax you by the mile because the EU told us to. That's exactly where this is going. I've had enough of our government and the EU. Can't we create a small island somewhere for like-minded people who just want to go there and be free without being ruled by sweaty paedophiles from Parliament and the EU? Fuck's sake. Fucking hate the EU. Fucking hate MPs. Fucking hate a lot of them.